you would go into the military.
Oh, fuck yeah, bro.
This motherfucker said he would go into. He's like, if I wasn't doing music, I would fuck around in the military.
100%,
like, what the
bro.
fuck?
Like,
no way.
I'm a sick fuck. I love a little bit of
a little bit of action.
Yeah, a little bit of adrenaline.
If you gon' go, then go, don't tell me you won't. I want them diamonds on my neck to make me look like I'm cold. That ain't for you and none of these hoes, that's just for me and my bros. I gotta fight for my balls, I gotta stack out this gold. I tell you I'm on a roll, we about to get all this dough. We ain't no fun niggas.
Joshua, I really want to figure out how we can get headphones. It's such a more intimate conversation. That's what Joe Rogan does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
We just don't have the setup for that. So basically, it's just the microphones we have. I mean, the box, you could technically do it, but a lot of like the bigger mics that we would get, they have a microphone option, so we could all link in, and then it would just go into the box, and we could hear each other.
I'm sure it would be pretty easy to get.
It would. It's just money.
Yeah, facts.
Sure. It's just money. You know,
everything's money.
When the podcast doesn't make anything, you know, we're just we're like minus a couple grand. So
Hey,
it's like you just build it.
Once you get your first bag off the podcast, new headphones.
100%. Oh, 100%. The second we start monetizing this page, it's going back into it. It's just going to keep going back into it because at the end of the day, we have a job. We have jobs.
Yeah, fact. That's the best way to do it, bro.
Exactly. Like we have.
That's probably the best thing I think me and Josh would do is that like when we did have a business and we were making money. All that money just went right back into the business. We never like, let's take some money out.
Yeah.
Like it's so like this equipment, like having all this equipment that we have is like the biggest asset because we can do
anything you want to do.
Anything anywhere.
Yeah.
Like we don't need it. Like that's why we went and purchased this podcasting equipment was because like we were using a shitty mic or we had to like borrow equipment. And it was just like, no, bro, we need our own equipment. It's a lot of money up front, but then in like a month you're like, yeah, that's already like paid itself off, and we've done like 7 podcasts.
Even if you don't make money off of it, if you're doing what you love to do, that alone pays itself off.
But it's all about being self-sufficient. Like I was telling him, I was like, you as a producer, you get this. Like if you can't do every aspect of what you need to get done by yourself, like you have to touch everything. Yeah. Like then you're not like if I need to call my buddy up who edits my thing and then do that, it's like you can't keep that going. Like you can't scale that. No. It's not scalable. So you have to be self-sufficient like him, bro. I've been getting him to video edit more. And it's like, bro, if you're creating shit, you got to do it. It's like you got to be
diverse, bro. You got to be able to play multiple roles.
We were always saying like, why don't artists learn how to produce more? Like, why don't they do that? Bro, it's like be self-sufficient.
I've always wondered that, and cause it's a hard transition, bro. Like, and it's harder to transition from a producer to an artist, but yeah, I don't know why guys don't transition. To be honest with you,
I feel like it's harder to transition from a producer to an artist only because people put a stigma like, oh no, you're just a producer.
Yeah, and bro,
I feel like they could do it though.
You got to go for it too, because if you start, the thing is, when you become an artist, if you're a producer and you become an artist, like the artist that you're working with might get a little salty because they'll be like, fuck, like he's gonna keep all the good beats for himself. Like
that's how it was about Kanye too.
Yeah, bro. So you gotta be like. And they did it though. They did it. They found a way, but it is risky. You gotta like be all in.
Greatness always finds its way. But I wanna go backwards a little bit because I want to pull on something you said. So to reset the room,
we should introduce KJ while we're here, bro.
That's literally what I was gonna do.
All right,
dude, always jump in. Just let me talk.
Beautiful.
Damn, man. I was gonna do it. I was resetting the room. He's like, we should introduce KJ. No, I wasn't gonna do it. I was gonna skip completely over it. But no, but to reset the room. We have KJ. What you got going on, man? on the pod finally. So just an absolute legend in the making. It's a pleasure to have you on. But what I wanted to pull on is you talked about doing something you love. Is the biggest investment. So kind of go into why you love music, what got you into it, because like I think about this before you go in. Like I think about life as life gives you energy, positive or negative, to show you what you're doing is right or wrong. Yeah. So go into like, what was that moment that we're like, nah, like I think I got something here.
Man, I think for me, like I already had a love for it early without even noticing it. Like I always found myself before, because I played a lot of hockey, like we played together. So that's how we met.
Shout out.
And
Couch and Capitals.
Yeah.
Couch and Capitals, baby.
Shout out Cowie.
And like, bro, it was a huge part of everything that had to do with sports. I was always listening to music, getting in the zone, and
100%.
like I just found myself getting lost in my headphones. Like when I'd be listening to music, I'm not even visualizing the game at this point. Like I'm just lost in the music. So subconsciously, I was already in love with it. I just didn't notice it. And then when I started getting hurt and coming home, he was already making music. Leno was already making music. So I would see that, and I kind of started to get interested, look on YouTube, and then that's when I was just like, oh shit, like this is crazy.
So when did you start really getting into like finding your lane? Because like, right?
Oh, that was
your brother Leno.
Yeah.
Superstar in the making too, making music, but like you're behind the scenes a little bit with being a producer. So like,
yeah.
What made you find your lane? Or like, what did you experiment with to be like, no, I can like make these beats and like that's my way.
To be honest, bro, like I still haven't even found my lane, to be honest. Like
That's a
I
good
have
answer.
to find my sound still, you know. But I'd say like I'm starting to kind of find it, and I think it just happened for me like these past 2 years, kind of like the first couple of years when I got into it with him, I was all over the place, like just trying new things, trying to get my foot in the door, get a handle on it. But I wouldn't say I found my lane yet, to be honest with you, bro. I think I got a lot of work to do still.
That's such a, we love that because that's like how we feel. We're just like, bro, we don't know where we're at. Like that's part of like the journey, bro. Finding who you like, just finding that thing that like really makes it, just defines everything.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, curiosity is the key to life.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think part of being creative is that like you never are satisfied. So like you've obviously had songs that were Grammy nominated.
Yeah.
But like you're still like now you're like on to the next one. I think that's part about being creative. It's great that you put out this hit. It's great that you made this great short form content, vlog, podcast, whatever it is, but like you got to do it again.
I know, that's the hard part.
And as you get better, it's even harder to do it again.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, that's what I mean. That was like sharing locations, bro. It was one of my first big ones, and like the dangerous thing with that is then people are like, "Hey, I want you to make another sharing locations." It's like, well, bro, it's not. You can't just do that. Like,
how did that come about? Like that one. Obviously, actually, maybe before we talk about that, should we talk about how you got it with Meek? Because I feel like that happened because Meek. I'm assuming.
Honestly, bro, shout out to Nick and Cruz. Like, it was through them. So basically, during the pandemic, a lot of people were obviously working remote.
Yeah.
And Nick Paps, Meek's producer, was starting to do these live streams where he's like listening to people's beats or whatever. And at this time, I was back home, and like I wasn't, to be honest with you, I wasn't really making beats like crazy. Like I was kind of just like falling back, focusing on my health from hockey and shit. So I was like,
100%.
Yeah. And then I was on one of those live streams. I was like, you know what, fuck it, like. Can I swear on this, by the way?
Yeah, you can swear, bro. Swear. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want.
I was just like, fuck it. Like, I have nothing to lose. Like, I'll send some shit. So the first one I sent, bro, he didn't even like, it didn't even get through the first probably 5 seconds of the melody, and it was shut off. He's like, nah, I don't want, like, I'm not trying to listen to the fruity shit, because it was like melodic, sorry. And I'm sitting there, I was kind of like, fuck, that was shitty. And then I was like, you know what? No, fuck it. He just said that wasn't the vibe. Doesn't mean it was shit. So I sent hard ones instead. Same live stream, and he played the first one, and I remember his reaction. He just like, he paused it. He's like, what the fuck? And he played it back, and then after that, the rest is history. Like, got the paperwork and signed on with them. And
so that's how you signed with Meek.
I signed with Nick. So like,
so
Nick
you signed with Nick. Okay,
yeah. So Nick and Cruz and Moan have.
So what's sorry? Will you just say for the people that are listening, Nick's tag, just so people are
Nick Paps, make it slap. That's Nick.
Yeah, that's his
and
tag.
Cruz and Moan. Cruz was Meek's engineer all the way through. Legend.
Meek Mill.
Yeah,
people that,
and then Moan's been helping us with like doing the management side for the producers and getting the records off, and yeah, so we've got a good team, bro. And with those three guys, working with those three, making music every day, sending it through them, and they got it done.
What was your first song you ever like? Meek Mill was like, yeah, I'm using this one, and like the first KJ tag. On Meek Mill song.
First one we got placed was, oh man, I think it was a beat. Me and Isa is my homie from Vancouver. Me and Isa made, and Nick told us he hopped on it. I still haven't heard a snippet. I haven't heard the song, but it was like one of the first beats me and Isa sent to Nick, and he had hopped on it. So it was an early one, but I never got to hear it.
Which was the first one that like actually like went out and released.
First one was still running on Dirk Baby and Dirk Baby's album,
Voice of the Heroes, right?
Yeah. So that's the first one that came out. They made that. So they made like, I think Nick Cruz said it was like 4 or 5 songs in the one night, and sharing locations and still running were 2 of them. Yeah.
So that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like in the first 2, one of them gets nominated for a Grammy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now they're like, hey, KJ, what you got going on, man?
Yeah.
No, but to go in, I know Josh kind of asked it, but I'll ask it for him. What was it like for sharing locations when you learned that it was going to be Dirk, Lil Baby, Meek Mill on one song? Because like that's a heavy hit.
Yeah, bro.
That's a heavy
it's a heavy roster.
That's a heavy hitting crew.
Honestly, bro, like it was crazy. It was surreal, but when you have artists that big, like it's gonna go. You know what I mean?
100%.
You know it's gonna go. So it's like
100%.
It's a crazy feeling, but like I said before, I think we talked about this before. For me, nothing beat the feeling of me and Leno getting our first song on a big playlist and getting our first 100,000 streams. Nothing beat that.
Sure.
For me, that was the first one. Like, I can fucking do this shit.
For sure.
Like, 100%.
So let's dig at that. Talk about that story of getting, Leno and you getting your first song on that playlist. I kind of go through that because I remember you told me it like 2 days ago, but I think that's a really good story.
Yeah, so we were dropping music and we were kind of just doing it without any plan in place, and like we didn't know what we were doing. And then, we would throw some money at it, try to promote it, and it wasn't working. And then I forget who told us, but someone had told us that if you do rollouts, like 2-week rollouts, that you have better opportunities to get on playlists, and then it gives you time to as well come up with like a game plan to promote it. So, and we had been already kind of paying for features, figuring that kind of side of things out, getting different audiences from other bigger artists. So we decided to do one with Young Tory, and once we got the song back, we did it this time. We did it like we were told, like with a 2-week rollout, and submit it to a couple playlists and stuff, and it got on the Northern Bars. That was our first one.
That's
bro.
Crazy.
Yeah, and we had, I think we have NLE before that or after that? What was it?
So
yeah, and
that's
then
the NLE Choppa story.
Yeah.
So that's from the Leno TK episode. If you didn't check that one out.
Yeah.
Yes, go check it out.
Yeah, so go check that one out.
Yes, sir.
But I guess I kind of want to piggyback off that because we were talking about working with a bunch of artists and stuff. Is there someone that you like today that you specifically want to work with? Whether it's like I just want to like do a single with them, or like, is there like a specific artist you're like, bro, I wish I could do a whole project with blank?
Drake for sure. Like Drake's on.
Other than Drake,
like
because,
Drake's like,
other than Drake, because I feel like Drake and I will
yeah.
say Canadian boy just because,
right.
but I just feel like I want someone because like Drake is like so.
Yeah.
He's just like he's on his own like weird. He's on his own level, right? So I feel like someone who's like because he's like really only to work with 40, and then he does like he'll bring other people. But I'm like whole project, and I mean not to say that never would happen.
No.
I'm saying like real like.
All right.
For real, like
Strands.
Strands.
Yeah, he put me on Strands.
Okay, so
that could,
talk about it.
Yeah, tell me why.
Leno's going crazy in the
bro.
Yeah,
so I've always been I've always fucked with 50 Cent.
Yeah.
And his beat selection and his flows. And I remember Leno showing me this kid from UK, and I was right away. I was like, bro, this kid's
we're definitely
the UK 50 Cent. Like this kid's about to go crazy.
You guys have been giving him such a sign off this weekend that it's like I'm gonna literally deep dive this guy.
No, yeah, bro.
So
everybody I've showed him to, they're shocked. They're like, what the fuck? Like,
because I feel like for us,
different.
like we need to put him in our circle of like people. Cause it's like not to be like that, but like you put people like you find people and like they're on. It's like
he would go
makes us look good.
His sound will go crazy
for sure.
That
UK sound already is going crazy,
bro.
That's why Drake's been experimenting.
Mm-hmm.
But Drake's been on that UK sound for a minute, bro. Before it was ever hot, he was doing it.
Bro, but the difference between him and the other UK artists is his beat selection.
Really?
He uses beats that like guys like 50 and shit would use that are whole other level. I like
love that.
His production level is top notch, and he's
50's
just at the start, so I can't even
crazy
wait.
beats. Too,
yeah, bro.
Wow.
Best beats in the game. 50.
I love that.
This made
shit,
me think
bro.
of something.
That's crazy.
Because so you're talking about like this artist you would love to work with that you think could go crazy. So what is the goal with what you're doing? Like, are you trying to be like a Metro Boomin? Are you trying to just like, I'm going to do this for a while and I'm going to do this complete left field thing? Like, what is the goal with
my
this?
goal is eventually to like, at the end of the day, me and Leno have always wanted to do a label, and like, obviously Leno wants to be an artist. So my goal at the end of the day is by getting these placements and hopefully building myself up is ultimately to be able to start my own label, and then also help push him with his career and help him focus on his career once he gets to a point that he likes and
For sure.
you know, where he's comfortable, and then see what I can do there as well. But for me, my goal is to get to a point where I can help out other kids the way Nick and them help me, basically, bro.
For sure.
That's the goal.
I mean, we've always been
Gotta love
intrigued.
that.
We've always been
Yeah.
intrigued by that. That's why it's like funny because we were like, Zach and I've always talked about that. We're like, we want to be a part of music because we love it so much.
Bro.
Like at the end of the day, like I think about many things. Like music does everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter
facts.
how you're feeling, bro. It's just like it's everything.
Yeah,
everything.
no, it's so true, bro. And like, yeah, I think I want to not just producers, artists too. Like,
For sure.
bro, there's so many times where I'll come across an artist, like a smaller artist, and I'll watch them for like a year or two, and then they just start going crazy. It's like, fuck, if I had a budget, bro.
You could just
If
pick
I
them up.
had a budget,
sure.
bro. Like, yeah,
Bro,
I
we
don't know.
were talking about that earlier, like about like NFTs and how NFTs could really
Yeah.
change music. And I don't know, man. I think music in this next 10 years is gonna change so much. It's gonna change music more than music has ever had since the beginning of time, like in the next 10 years, because it's just like with AI, NFTs, all these things.
It's
like,
gotta change,
It's gonna
bro.
change everything.
It has to change,
Yeah,
or else
but
it's gonna die. Like
For sure.
the way the industry is going right now, especially on the business side of things, the way people are starting to handle their business is like it's getting rough sometimes
It's
here and
for
there. So
sure.
it's like
For
we
sure.
really need to change.
Labels are
the-
gonna die, or they're gonna have to adjust.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you look
yeah.
at like what Snoop Dogg does. Like I don't know if you're very familiar with like he bought Death Row Records, obviously, but like the way he's like signing artists and stuff now, he's doing it a lot differently than a lot of these other labels. It seems like from the outside looking at him. Like I don't know how the inner workings are, but from the way that he talks about it, the way he's doing things, it's like everything is gonna be a lot different. It's like these people are gonna be able to invest in the artist. It's not just gonna be the label, and on top of that, it's not like the labels own everything. We were talking about this yesterday.
Yeah.
The labels own everything. They give it to the artist. They lease it to them, make the artist pay them, and it's just like they're in debt to them forever.
It's a shitty loan, bro. I forget who said this on YouTube. I saw it in an interview somewhere. Basically, like most record deals are just a really shitty loan. Like you could get a loan from a bank with better terms, better
for
interest
sure,
rates.
bro.
Like, so yeah, you got to be careful. You got
For
definitely
sure.
gotta, as an artist, like producer side of things, it's a little different. I mean,
For
there's
sure.
still bad deals, but you can get pub deals or admin deals that can be beneficial. But for artists, yeah, you gotta.
It has been really interesting, I think, the last couple of years to really see the transition of these artists getting out of record deals
Yeah.
and staying independent,
Yeah.
or really just being patient, like not having to sign to a record label, which I think is really good for the industry. Like obviously I'm a huge fan. Like I always talk about like Young Blue, like when he got independent, like the moves he's been making
Oh, it's crazy.
since has been incredible. So
And now he's making business moves too on the
with
side.
Moon Boy
has
University,
to.
which is crazy.
Bro.
But like, it's being able to do that, but it's also being able to, like, if Young Blue came out and was like we were just talking about NFTs, like he opens up $100,000 of himself open to anybody who wants to buy this $300 NFT that invests in 1% of his career earnings, or whatever the
Yeah.
breakdown is. Like, I think that is what's going to change the game,
Yeah.
because I think record labels matter.
Yeah,
Of
yeah,
course,
yeah.
because they definitely put people on. They help.
And they
with the
have
market.
they have so much
infrastructure
connection,
too,
bro.
They have the infrastructure to be able to do things,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
Like to do a tour. Like an independent artist
It's
can't
hard.
just go out and be like, I'm gonna do a 50-city tour.
Yeah.
If you don't have that connect, because there's two companies that book every tour ever.
Yeah.
So it's like if you don't have the in with them, they're gonna laugh you off, or you're gonna be so much in debt because they didn't do it right. Like
Mhm.
there's like they take a lot of the risk, and that's why they take a lot
Yeah.
of the money.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
At
what
the
it
end of the
is.
day, the risk is on them.
It's all on them.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's
don't get me wrong, they're taking massive life insurance, but like they're doing shit. Like they're trying to benefit, and there's a sliver of people that make them so much money that makes it worth all the people that they sign that are duds and they
Yeah.
lose money on.
yeah.
No
So-
doubt. Not everybody's a winner, but to kind of go a little left field here, because we've kind of gotten into you and the music. What is something that like you're curious about that most people wouldn't know, most people wouldn't expect?
That's a good question, bro. Something I'm curious about. Like, you mean music-wise or
No, like,
anything
everybody-
outside of music.
Everybody
outside
knows
of music.
Everybody knows you like
Yeah.
music. Like
Outside-
I want,
Outside of music, outside of hockey, because those are two things that we already talked about that you were into. So two things
Yeah.
that like the average person might not know.
2 things that average person
No, just
might
one.
not
Just
know.
one. Just one thing.
Just one.
Just one thing. Could be like, bro, we live in a simulation, or like, bro, the Earth is flat, or like, I'm really into cookbooks. I don't know.
Damn, bro, that's a good question.
It could be anything.
Like, bro, he knows. Like, I'm super into like military and police shit too.
Oh,
like,
I guess you were kind of talking about that.
Yeah, like.
You were saying that you would do that. You said you would go into the military.
Oh, fuck yeah, bro.
This motherfucker
Fuck
said he
yeah,
would
bro.
go into. He's like, if I wasn't doing music, I would fuck around in the military.
100%,
like, what the
bro.
fuck?
Like,
no way.
I'm a sick fuck. I love a little bit of
a little bit of action.
Yeah, a little bit of adrenaline. But
that's jokes.
But,
yeah,
that's
bro.
jokes.
I always talk about that. Like, I was like telling my mom, like, if I accomplish when I accomplish all my goals in music and done what I want to do, and if I'm bored when I'm older, I'd probably like volunteer some shit.
That's some Tiger Woods shit, bro. I don't know if you know much about Tiger Woods, bro, but like in his prime, he was just like, I'm not competitive enough. So he just like went with Navy SEALs and did all this Navy SEAL training.
Yeah.
And was like, bro, all these Navy SEALs were like, bro, if we kill Tiger Woods, like we're gonna be fucked. Like they were like so scared to like work with Tiger because they were like, bro, like if we kill Tiger Woods, like we're fucked. Like
nah,
this
he's a
guy's
beast, bro.
He's an animal.
Yeah.
But that was the thing. Like that's how like he was just on a different level. He's like, bro, I'm gonna go.
That's kind of
Navy SEAL
how
shit.
I feel. Like I just want to push myself in every aspect of life.
Yeah.
So it's like
I respect.
put myself in just fucked up situations and like see if I can come out of that shit.
Well, there's something
You
to
need that.
Putting yourself in uncomfortable situations.
Yeah.
Like you're like as a human, it's all about survival. So like
Yeah.
you put yourself in uncomfortable situations that forces yourself to adapt and grow and,
That's facts,
and learn.
bro.
And you got to
Need
learn
it.
fast. Like that. Me and Josh talk about it all the time. Like moving out here was an uncomfortable situation, but like
hell
now
yeah.
we've turned it into something that's like great. Like
you guys
we
are
love it
doing
here.
going crazy here too.
Bro.
Yeah.
Man, how do you like New York?
I love it, bro. Me and Leno were talking about it. Like, bro, the vibe you get, it just makes you want to hustle.
Dude, it's
you
all
see
it is.
everybody's hustling, bro.
Everyone's
Yes.
hustling.
Everybody's hustling, and it's just like, holy fuck. Like, I gotta get on my shit, bro. Like,
It was just, but that's what I like. I'll tell you what, it's like there's days you don't want to do anything,
oh,
right? But
we
there's
all
like,
have those
but when
days,
you
bro.
see the fucking people grinding, and it's like you're
I
always
have to.
competing against yourself. But there's just part of you that's like, I'm not letting this motherfucker outwork me.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah.
and it's like there's part of that.
That's the dangerous part about Canada, bro. It feels like a vacation. Anyone that's from there, I feel like, I mean,
For
don't
sure.
get me wrong, like,
I know
especially
exactly
a lot of
what
my
you mean.
homies, like, they work hard, they have hardworking jobs and shit, but man, if like for my line of work or people working at home and shit, when you're in Canada, like, I mean, you've lived there for
Yeah.
a bit. It feels
Oh,
like a
yeah.
vacation, bro.
It's
Like,
definitely a vacation, but like
yeah.
people, and it's like same with us when we were in Michigan. People have a different goal. Other people's goal is like, I want to make $150,000,
Yeah.
be comfortable. I want to have some kids. I want to have a wife. It's like us. We were talking about like, bro, we will never retire. I will never fucking retire. When they put me in the ground, that's
That's
the
when
day
you
I'm done,
retire,
bro. I'm not
yeah.
retiring. I don't give a fuck. And like that mindset of like, I'll never stop.
Fact.
A lot of people are like, bro, I'm 26 years old. I'm ready for retirement. And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I can't relate.
That's
Can't relate,
crazy,
bro.
yeah.
I can't relate.
No, I'm the same way. I'm gonna work for a long time. The only way I would like fall back is if I'm older, have a family.
For
like,
sure.
being for
For
my
sure,
kids.
but
and,
like I
want
just
my
think
son to
there's
play
always
hockey and shit, you
I
know?
think that there's things where you like start businesses and like we're trying to take it like of course we want to have families and do all these things,
Yeah.
but it's like we want to build infrastructure for these businesses that can work a little bit without us. But it's like to say that just because I have a family doesn't mean I can't grind.
Oh, 100%,
oh, bro, I'm gonna be fucking hustling.
Yeah, no,
And
facts,
it's like because
bro.
it's like at the end of the day, bro, I'd want to teach my kids like, hey,
This is how you
this is
get
how
it.
you work. Like,
This is
bro,
how you get
if
it.
you don't fucking work, you ain't getting
Yeah.
nothing.
No, facts. That's
So it
facts.
just is what it is. And that's I think a lot of people in North America in general have lost the fact that like, bro, you got to hustle.
Yeah.
Like there's
That's
no,
how you create generational
For
wealth. If
sure.
you don't hustle it, then
you can't.
everybody,
You can't.
you're for generations, you're gonna be broke.
For sure.
Yeah.
If it was easy, everybody would do it.
Fact.
sure.
That's facts.
Bro.
And I honestly think that's the best place to end it, man.
For
KJ,
sure, bro.
it was
KJ,
Thanks for having me
absolute
on, boys.
pleasure
bro,
to have you on, have
Yeah.
you in New York. You're welcome anytime.
for sure.
Fact.
We're gonna be out in Vancouver.
Yeah, we got to get you
We're
guys
gonna
on.
come.
We're
You
gonna
guys
come.
gotta pull
We're
up.
gonna come, bro.
Promise.
Hey, bro, I've been
One of the
telling
most beautiful cities in the world, bro.
for sure, and I've been telling Andrew McCann. I love that motherfucker. I've been telling him for fucking 4 years. I'm like, oh, I'm coming Western Canada, dude. I'm coming. Now we're gonna
coming,
go.
Andrew.
Bro, we're coming,
Yeah.
Andrew. Leno,
We got to get him
AJ,
out there
We're
too.
coming. We're
Yeah.
fucking coming, boys.
Fact.
All right,
So,
boys.
hey,
See ya.
appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me on,
Cheers,
boys.
guys.
We bought till we fall. My emotions stay. And I ain't never gonna sleep. On by my mama's house. Wanna see my brothers get rich. Wanna tell you I'm in it. Watch me get my